readers. My name is Dawn Hughes, and I'm the coordinator for Booktrib's book club program. I'm here today with author Rachel Goss to talk about her genre-bending novel, On Madeira Creek. We are so thrilled that On Madeira Creek is one of the selections available in Booktrib's book club program for January. Thank you, Rachel, for taking some time out of your schedule at this busy time of year to talk to us.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and you weren't twisting my arm because I love to talk about my book.
Excellent. Well, let's dive into those questions then so you can talk about your book.
Right.
So my first one is no spoilers, but what can you share about your book that we wouldn't find on the jacket cover necessarily?
Well, part of the story is set on the grounds of McDonald Observatory and a nearby dude ranch in West Texas. And this was especially fun part for me to write because I had an unusual opportunity to live on the grounds of the observatory back in the 1980s. So I'm drawing from that experience. And also my husband was at a dude ranch when he was a kid that was near there, and my daughter went there. So I kind of drew from those personal experiences and put those in the story. And the observatory has a lot of scientists who visit there from all over the world. So you have that element of characters coming in, and then you have some local people too. So right. It's a mix of different people that hopefully are interesting to read about. And Madeira Creek and the town of Fort Davis are real places, and they're kind of off the beaten track. And I think it's kind of fun to visit those in a story. And we also have part of the book is set in Santa Fe, which is a beautiful location. And the story on Madeira Creek is part of the She series, which is science, history, and espionage. So you should expect to find some strong ladies interacting with some real historical figures from 1947. And it's set only 2 years after the atomic bombings from World War II. And so it's the dawn of the atomic age, and Santa Fe is a hotbed of espionage still, and our characters do get thrown into that. And On Madeira Creek is a standalone story, but there is a prequel that I've written called Driven by Conscience that could also provide some background info if you're interested to read that too. But it's a great one.
You definitely wouldn't get all of that from the jacket cover, which actually kind of feeds into my next question, which is why you think this would make such a great book club choice. I can see, from a genre perspective, there's lots of genres, but also that whole strong female component. I love a good, strong female protagonist, and part of it being the She program. So what are some reasons you think it would make for a great book club?
Well, it moves, the action moves pretty quickly. So I think that I would hope that the people who are reading it will want to finish the book. So, that it moves along, so you will want to keep reading. And there are some characters from different walks of life, different people who are in the story, who makes decisions that affect the storyline. And it could be that when you're reading it, you'll be curious to think, well, would I have made this decision myself, or should she have done something differently? How would that have impacted the rest of the story? And I wrote a bunch of discussion questions and trying to pique my interest in the book club idea. And it was very easy to write them. So I think that the characters should spark some discussion amongst the club members, and hope that people will want to read it.
I definitely can't wait to read it. It's top of my TBR for January. So there you go.
Oh, and there's some romance in there as well, I'm meant to say.
That's always good too.
Yeah, it's not a romance novel, but there is some love interest there.
That's what makes the espionage even better.
There you go. Yeah, yeah. I think they're paired naturally, right?
Yeah, absolutely they are. Yeah, sort of like suspense often. So we're going to veer off your book for a bit for my next question, just because we're all going to be padding our TBRs over the month of January as we get ready for our 2024 reading goals. What's the best book, fiction or nonfiction, that you read in the last year, and why?
I would say the best fiction book was Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. It's the story, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it's a story of early game designers, a couple of kids who meet when they were young, and then over a 30-year period, the growth of their company and their relationships and so on, and how creativity impacts their decisions, and how that affects their relationships and how their business unfolds. And it was of interest to me because it was a great story first and very well written. And my youngest daughter is a game designer in Silicon Valley, so it kind of hit close to home, and it was interesting to see somebody who had put so much effort into a book like that.
Nice.
So that's my pick for the year of fiction.
Nice. I'm gonna have to add that one to my TBR too. Look at you loading up my TBR.
It's good. It's a fairly long book, but you'll whip through it pretty quick.
That's good. I like to read, so that's good. I have this feeling you and I could probably talk about books all day long, but I know I have to wrap this up because we only have about 5 minutes. So thank you again for your time.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about my book, and I hope that others will want to read it.
I'm sure they will. We hope you have the best luck with this book and I want to get the prequel now too. So there you go. So for more information about Rachel's book, please check out the book club page on the booktrib.com website.
Thank you.